helping us deliver happy holidays to our community.
Michael Jackson with Britney, Sarah, plus the president, next ET.
New fallout from the attack on America. The U.S. is going on the hunt for thousands of Middle Easterners in this country illegally. And relatives of the cold terror attack victims say they want compensation too. Eye on America investigates faulty batteries on smart bombs. Did some get into the deadliest bombs of all? And at the hockey dad's manslaughter trial, a father listens as his son defends him.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The Justice Department is beginning a massive new manhunt for thousands of Middle Eastern men in the United States illegally. They have all dropped from sight, ducking deportation after their visas expired. The focus is on finding Arab and Muslim men from nations known to harbor members of the Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda terror networks. But as CBS's Bob Orr reports, some see this as unjust racial profiling and doubt the deportations would do much anyway to fight terror.
The Bush administration's war on terrorism could soon target U.S. cities like Dearborn, Michigan, and Paterson, New Jersey, places with large Arabic-speaking communities. The Justice Department today declared it a top priority to find, arrest, and deport some 6,000 Middle Eastern men. It's not at all clear if they have any connection to terrorism, but all are Arab nationals from countries with known Al-Qaeda cells. The men who have ignored deportation orders are now in the U.S. illegally. Overall, there are 300,000 people of all ethnic backgrounds who have been ordered to leave. And Arab American leaders say it's unfair to go after the 6,000 with Arabic names.
Is it a profiling issue? Of course it is. Is it an effective law enforcement tool to deal with terrorism? Of course it's not.
Since September 11th, the FBI has directed nearly all of its efforts towards preventing another terrorist attack. More than 1,000 people have already been rounded up for questioning, and the Attorney General has made no apology for the aggressive tactics.
Taking suspected terrorists in violation of the law off the streets and keeping them locked up is our clear strategy to prevent terrorism within our borders.
But none of the people detained since the attack has been indicted for terrorism. And critics question whether the new roundup of illegal Arab nationals will provide any real security benefit.
I think it's a placebo. It's designed to make the American people feel better about what's being done by the government. But it doesn't seem to offer the real substance of meaningful law enforcement.
It's worth noting this new crackdown, had it been in effect, would have done nothing at all to prevent the September 11th attack. 16 of the hijackers were in the U.S. legally at the time, and the 3 who had overstayed their visas weren't here long enough for deportation orders to be given. Dan?
Bob Orr, live in our Washington Bureau. Overseas in the war against terrorism, U.S. planes in eastern Afghanistan struck again today at an Al-Qaeda holdout. And farther south, U.S. troops are preparing to move hundreds of what are called dangerous prisoners from the dusty Afghan plain to seaside security in the Caribbean. CBS's Wyatt Andrews has our overview of the war from the Pentagon.
The U.S. kept up the pressure today on Al-Qaeda forces who are trying to regroup in eastern Afghanistan. According to Joint Chiefs Chairman Myers, enemy troops were spotted gathering in an extensive cave compound near the now infamous Zawar Kili camp. 2 airstrikes were called, including what Myers said was an F-14 hit on one camp building.
You can see some vehicles near the compound as well as an individual outside the targeted building. These were not friendly forces.
Among the biggest threats to U.S. ground forces now is the growing number of detainees. The U.S. now holds more than 300 at Kandahar and nearly 40 at the Bagram Air Base near Kabul. Many are being held so the U.S. can learn what they know about Al-Qaeda, but others are the kind of committed and violent soldiers who could revolt, just as some prisoners did at Mazar-e-Sharif.
Anytime you have detainees who will sacrifice their life to kill you or what you stand for, I mean, that's the most dangerous type of individual you can have in your control.
To diminish that threat, the U.S. will soon move some of the riskiest prisoners to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The base there is prepping to take 100 prisoners as soon as possible and may eventually take 2,000. Some will be held in brig facilities, others in outdoor shelters the military is rapidly building. The buildup here will require more than 1,000 MPs and support troops. General Myers also disclosed an encounter yesterday with 14 enemy soldiers that ended without a shot and just 2 arrests, but with the collection of several al-Qaeda laptop computers and cell phones. It's a very clear example about how this war is no longer about territory. It's about intelligence. Dan?
Live at the Defense Department, Wyatt Andrews. Osama bin Laden has so far eluded Afghan tribal fighters and U.S. troops in Afghanistan, adding to suspicions that he might seek sanctuary in Pakistan. And as CBS's Barry Peterson reports from Peshawar tonight, that means relying on Pakistani border troops to catch him.
This is where the hunt for Osama bin Laden is now being focused, on the remote northern border with Pakistan, where the Pakistan military gave CBS News a rare look today. The military says it is on high alert and promises no one will slip through. We are completely in control, says this general. In the last few days, we have made 200 arrests. Their confidence is contradicted by terrain so rugged that donkeys move more easily than military vehicles. And worse, this is an area where Osama bin Laden would find many sympathetic to his anti-American cause, people who have not felt the sting and the disillusion of the Taliban's harsh rule. It is a place already teeming with refugees from Afghanistan, where children learn their lessons in the open air, and al-Qaeda fighters can easily fade into the hills, one among so many. And now the hunt for bin Laden on this border is jeopardized by what's happening on Pakistan's other border, where Pakistan and India continue massing armies in the disputed Kashmir region. Guns, not diplomacy, are speaking here. And if it gets worse, if there is war, Pakistan will ship more troops to Kashmir and away from Afghanistan.
Therefore, we hope that the tension does not rise to the level where we have to move those troops.
The day and night border patrols by the Pakistan military are thin enough already. If Osama bin Laden is still hiding in Afghanistan, reducing the troops will only make his escape that much easier. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Peshawar, Pakistan.
In Kandahar in southern Afghanistan, an al-Qaeda fighter who tried to escape a hospital standoff killed himself with a grenade rather than be captured. The dead man had been holed up for weeks in a wing of the hospital, along with other armed al-Qaeda fighters wounded during earlier fighting. 6 are still holding out tonight. Following September 11th, America's outpouring of sympathy and generosity for families of the attack victims was remarkable. Congress followed suit by approving a special compensation package for them. But as CBS's Jim Stewart reports, other Americans touched by terrorism now have begun questioning the fairness of it all.
Lou Gunn of Norfolk, Virginia has a simple question. What's the difference between his son's death and the death suffered on September the 11th? After all, his son was killed by terrorists just like in New York, and the terrorists worked for Osama bin Laden just like in New York. It was just a different place and time. Signalman Sharon Gunn died October the 12th, 2000 aboard the USS Cole.
My loss is just like the loss of the people in New York. You know, the only difference between 9/11 and 10/12, we talking 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day. But the pain and the grief is still the same.
But not the compensation. Lou Gunn's family received $15,000 in benefits for their son's death, while under a program approved by Congress, families of September the 11th victims stand to receive, on average, $1.5 million. Gunn and several other Cole families now intend to challenge their exclusion from that plan, they tell CBS News, and they are not alone. Relatives of the 12 Americans who died in the African embassy bombings in 1998, also bin Laden's handiwork, are asking the same. Edith Bartley lost her father and only brother there.
Something should have been done 3 years ago for our families. You know, the body bags came home, people saw Andrews Air Force Base, front page news, and I think the world thought, oh, our government's so compassionate and is taking care of these families. That is so far beyond the truth.
Nor are many September the 11th families happy. Stephen Push lost his wife, Lisa Raines, in the plane that hit the Pentagon. The fund awards are far smaller than you might win in a lawsuit, he notes. Only if you accept the fund money, you can't sue.
We are the only victims of terrorism who had our rights to seek compensation taken away by an act of Congress.
Mostly what the families want is a sense of fairness. Just treat us as well as you treated the Chinese, one suggested. noting that when the U.S. accidentally bombed the Chinese embassy in Belgrade 2 years ago, killing 3 people, we ended up paying Beijing more than $32 million for their dead and their buildings. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
The United States Supreme Court today put new limits on what constitutes a disability under a law that protects disabled workers from job discrimination. In doing so, the justices handed employers a victory in deciding how far the boss must go to keep workers on the job. CBS's Sandra Hughes reports the ruling and the impact.
The justices said this Kentucky Toyota plant did not have to find another job for an employee who suffered from carpal tunnel syndrome and could no longer work on the assembly line. The decision found that Ella Williams' partial disability did not substantially limit her major life activities.
Had the court decided the other way, the implications would have been enormous for business in that every injury potentially could have been qualified as a disability under the ADA.
The ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, was supposed to clear the way for millions of disabled Americans to find jobs in the mainstream workplace. But it's turned into a highly litigated and often disputed law pitting disabled and injured workers against employers.
How the ADA is evolving is in a narrower form than I think some people thought it would be when it was first enacted.
But Jacqueline Thornton knows the pain of repetitive stress injuries like carpal tunnel can severely limit life.
I've lost my career of 24 years.
She says she was fired from her job as a Fresno, California newspaper reporter because she couldn't type. Her lawsuit alleging the newspaper violated the ADA was put on hold by the court, awaiting today's Supreme Court decision.
We're in this bizarre twilight zone where we're too disabled, apparently, to work, but yet we're not disabled enough to be covered under the law.
But the justices' 9-0 decision shows at least they have a clear idea of who isn't disabled. If you can walk, see, hear, and perform daily activities of life, the ADA doesn't necessarily protect you from difficulties you find in the workplace. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Using an Ohio public school as a backdrop, President Bush today signed an education reform bill into law. One key provision requires yearly math and reading tests in grades 3 through 8. The Republican president gave public thanks to Democratic Senator Ted Kennedy for the bipartisan spirit that helped pass this law. That spirit is widely reported to be fading fast in an election year battle over economic policy. Next here on CBS Eye on America, a faulty battery can make a smart bomb miss its target, and the risk is far greater when the weapon is nuclear.
Pizza! In my family, if one wants pizza, the other wants Chinese. Even their stomachs don't agree. If one gets indigestion, the other one gets heartburn. If one gets nausea, the other one gets... well, so I get Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, it relieves heartburn, indigestion, upset stomachs, nausea, and diarrhea. It'd take a box full of other medicines to do what Pepto-Bismol does. Agree?
Agree.
Pepto-Bismol, first aid for heartburn, diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, and upset stomachs.
At Bank of America, we really wanted to participate in the Olympic Winter Games. But in the end, we decided to support the real athletes and stick to the things we do best. Like making it easier to pay your bills with America's most popular online bank.
Fighting pain's not the same after the Icy Hot Patch.
I put it on and the pain's gone.
The Icy Hot Patch's concentrated relief goes on icy to dull the pain. Gets hot to relax it away for hours of relief. It's still working. The Icy Hot Patch. Pain has met its match.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a heart attack. Then I heard about Plavix, and so I asked my doctor. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
Looking for a quiet moment? Get a quieter cookie. Soft, fruit chewy Fig Newtons. Time out from the everyday crunch.
In tonight's Eye on America, CBS widens the scope of an ongoing in-depth investigation. It involves potentially flawed batteries, vital to the accuracy of some of the U.S. military's most sophisticated weapons. A former worker at the company that makes the batteries has filed a whistleblower suit, saying he saw bad batteries being shipped. And as CBS's Vince Gonzalez reports, that raises concern about the reliability of the most powerful weapons in the U.S. arsenal.
Special batteries made by Eagle Pitcher Technologies of Joplin, Missouri, power the guidance systems of many U.S. weapons, from anti-tank missiles to cruise missiles to the smart bombs used in Afghanistan. If the batteries don't work, weapons can go off target with disastrous results. Nearly 20 former and current employees tell CBS News Eagle Pitcher covered up manufacturing problems and test failures and shipped out defective batteries.
The attitude was, regardless of what the test results were, let's meet the deadline.
Eagle Pitcher is also the top supplier of one other line of very important batteries. Batteries that power America's ultimate weapons, nuclear bombs and missiles. Defective batteries have been found here at Sandia National Labs, where the Department of Energy tests and assembles nuclear weapons components. In one instance last year, CBS News has learned batteries built for the test version of the W-78 nuclear warhead were found to have leakage. A key chemical powder also did not meet Sandia Labs specifications, indicating the manufacturer had not properly processed the battery. The lab declared the batteries unacceptable for use. Tony Goodwin used to test Eagle Pitcher's chemical powders. She says the powder often failed quality control tests, and she would order it discarded. But
I know for a fact a lot of it went in the batteries,
which could lead to battery failures. To assure quality for their nuclear components, Sandia Labs sent pre-mixed chemicals to the Eagle Pitcher plant. But employees say they didn't always go into Sandia batteries.
They mixed and matched them in any batteries they wanted to.
Lab officials confirm at least one instance where chemicals were switched, but they stress there has not been a battery failure in a deployed warhead in more than 3 years. But failures have been caught before warheads made it to the missiles. That's important because the batteries supply the power that initiates the nuclear detonation sequence. But Sandia Lab officials tell CBS News, overall, they're happy with Eagle Pitcher's products. Like the smart weapons used in Afghanistan, Eagle Pitcher's batteries also power the guidance systems of nuclear strike missiles such as the Minuteman. In October, the company lost a bid to continue making those Minuteman batteries. The military said a number of delinquencies and Eagle Pitcher's poor record justified awarding the contract to a competitor, even though the price was higher. Employees say they tried to speak out about problems at the plant.
In fact, and my boss at the time was told to shut me up after I spoke out in that one meeting.
I was told at one time that maybe my job depended on whether or not I would go along with the actions of the company.
2 military inquiries are underway. Employees are talking to investigators since the company, they say, wouldn't listen. In Joplin, Missouri, I'm Vince Gonzalez for Eye on America.
Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld addressed the reliability of U.S. nuclear weapons today in response to a Washington Post report that the Bush administration might end a 10-year-old moratorium on nuclear testing. Rumsfeld denied there is such a plan, but he allowed that tests might be needed eventually to keep the nuclear arsenal, and I quote him directly now, safe and reliable. Next here on CBS, the hockey dad's manslaughter trial. The accused father listens as his 12-year-old son tells the court what happened.
Time to relax. What a time for bad heartburn. Try Extra Strength Mylanta. It works on tough nighttime heartburn fast. So go ahead, relax, if you can. Extra Strength by Lanta.
Come on, boys. Breakfast is ready.
Good morning, Grandma.
Good morning, Timmy.
I'm Tommy.
Oh, sorry, Tommy. Now dig in. Your mom said to get a good, healthy breakfast. Where's that brother of yours, anyway?
I'll go get him.
Hey, Tommy, let me out! Introducing Minute Maid blends with new orange strawberry banana and orange cranberry. Flavors even kids can't resist.
I wonder if Tommy wants more juice.
It seems like only yesterday. When I started skating at 8 years old, I never thought I'd experience the thrill of winning a medal. With all the great memories has come another thing I thought I'd never experience, the pain of osteoarthritis.
Vioxx is here, a prescription medicine for osteoarthritis pain. With one little pill a day, Vioxx can provide powerful 24-hour relief. Vioxx specifically targets only the COX-2 enzyme, a key source of arthritis pain. People with allergic reactions, such as asthma, to aspirin or other arthritis medicines should not take Vioxx. In rare cases, serious stomach problems, such as bleeding, can occur without warning. Tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. For more information, talk to your doctor about once-daily Vioxx for the relief of osteoarthritis pain.
Perhaps my biggest victory is to be able to plan my day around my life instead of my pain.
Ask your doctor if Vioxx is right for you. Vioxx, for everyday victories.
Hey, guys.
Driveway's almost done.
Great.
And I'm as hungry as a polar bear.
Clam chowder?
Wow, condensed soup.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine when we wore snowsuits. We're adults now. There's a better tasting soup. Progresso New England clam chowder has more chunks of clams and potatoes, and it's creamier. See the difference?
This is better.
Still smelling it.
I'm done.
Let's go. That's nice smelling.
Yeah.
Now with 50% more clams in every bowl.
You're feeling fine when it hits you. Diarrhea and gas, too. But now there's new Imodium Advanced Caplets, the only one with 2 medicines to stop diarrhea and gas. Whew, what a relief.
The Enron mess. Thousands left without jobs or pensions. As Congress prepares to act, we begin our own investigation tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Whatever the legal impact, the emotional toll was evident today at a trial that has focused national attention on parental violence at sporting events for children. The charge is manslaughter against a hockey dad who beat another father to death. Today's testimony included an eyewitness account by the defendant's son. CBS's Jim Axelrod is at the trial in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Prosecutors opened today by putting a sweet-looking grandmother of 10 on the stand.
I kept screaming, stop.
Virginia Bring's grandsons were part of the hockey game that also included the sons of Thomas Junta and Michael Costin, the game that Costin was supervising and Junta thought too rough. She watched the men argue and then fight and said Junta relentlessly pummeled Costin long after he stopped fighting back.
He went on, and I kept hollering and saying, stop. And I was thinking the whole time, he's either going to kill this man or he's going to have brain damage.
So if you're Junta's lawyer, how do you counter a grandmother? With Junta's 12-year-old son, who described a much different fight, limited to just 3 punches.
My dad hit him 3 quick times, really quick.
Only the sound of children's testimony can be broadcast, no pictures. But Thomas Junta sat intently and watched his son as the boy contradicted earlier accounts that Costin was unconscious.
What, if anything, was Mr. Costin doing with his body at that
He
time?
was trying to punch and kick him, my dad, to get him off.
Inside the courthouse, jurors paid careful attention to the Junta boy, sitting up a bit straighter in their chairs, heads swiveling between the boy and the lawyers. But if the defense is hanging its hopes on a child witness, it may have picked the wrong hook.
Jurors have conflicting feelings about kids, and these...
Law professor Thomas Lyon says juries generally see kids as less likely to lie, but more suggestible.
So jurors will say, well, I believe the child is honest, but the child can also be honestly mistaken.
But this defense isn't pinning all its hopes on a child. Its star witness, Thomas Junta himself. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, Cambridge.
He was a fixture on television for years. Dave Thomas, founder of Wendy's Restaurants, has died of cancer at age 69. He opened the first Wendy's, named for his daughter, in 1969. Besides selling burgers, Dave Thomas, adopted as an infant, became a national advocate for adoption.
For dry skin itch, relief is here. 12-hour Lanacane with antibacterial plus vitamins. Works all day or all night.
It stops dry skin itch and kills germs.
Lanacane, itch relief that works all day or all night.
The more you live, the more a bladder control issue shouldn't hold you back. New Serenity Slender gives you 3 layers of protection. The core of super absorbers keeps you drier. New Serenity Slender. More protection, less bad. Now that's more you.
Let me tell you how it will be. This one for you, 19 for me. 'Cause I'm the tax man.
It took an act of Congress to pass 441 tax law changes. Will it take an act of God to understand them? No one understands the tax law changes better than H&R Block. If you're not satisfied, you don't pay.
Abner, we're rich.
We're rich?
It's our new litter. It's got diamonds in it.
Diamond. What's a diamond?
A diamond is a very valuable...
You are mistaken, my friends. The diamonds are crystals in Tidy Cat's Crystals Blend. The clay traps moisture. The crystals eliminate odor. And that is the only reason I agreed to live here with the likes of you.
Whatever.
Tidy Cat's Crystals Blend.
I still think they're diamonds.
Malox Max challenges Mylanta Supreme. Who neutralizes more acid? Malox Max. Relieves pressure and bloating. Malox Max. Comes in more great flavors. Malox Max. 3 ways the right choice is Malox Max. Agree or it's free.
Looking for a quiet moment? Get a quieter cookie. Soft, fruit, chewy Fig Newtons. Time out from the everyday crunch.
Hey, if we get hurt. Whoa, good thing we got that insurance. What's that? What? What'd you say? What? Saves you cash if you can't work.
What's for that?
Insurance, well, we got that insurance.
Not that.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Our investigators close to finding Christian Longo. His SUV is found in San Francisco, and he's been applying for jobs in the Bay Area. The latest at 6.
Now our CBS Evening News end notes. In Kenya, it was rather biblical. A lioness lying down with an oryx, a kind of antelope. The lioness, perhaps lonely, found and adopted the newborn, protecting it from predators, but still allowing the mother to feed it. This went on for a couple of weeks until this week. Nature intervened. And while the lioness was sleeping, a male lion killed the oryx. And talk about rare, this is a leucistic alligator. White skin, blue eyes, only 12 known to exist. The Louisiana company that owned them has now donated these alligators to the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans, where you can see them later. And that's part of our world and the animal world. Dan Rather reporting. We invite you to join us here tomorrow, same time, same station, for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the Internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News. The Enron mess, our in-depth investigation.